Hi, and welcome back to Koala's Creeping. I am Koala. So I'm going to talk a bit shortly today about my shamanic toolbox. So this episode will be like a short introduction to the different parts of my toolbox. And in upcoming videos, I will talk more about each of them. So each of the tools in the toolbox. So this had me thinking a little bit about what I mean with tools. So I divided them up into like two categories. One is like physical tools, and one is more techniques, like shamanic techniques and methods. So I'm gonna start with like the physical tools and I'm just gonna list them and talk maybe shortly about them. And then I will go deeper into each one of them in other videos, because I want to keep these videos short and digestible. So the first tool is my drums. So you can see one of them behind me here. And my drums I use for so many different things. I use them mostly for journeying, I would say. And when I use my power song Galder, and when to enhance energies, like lift energies and enhance energies in ceremonies and healing. I use them very much for healing since the pandemic, mostly for myself and for a few clients that I have met in real life. But before the pandemic, I used it a lot in one-on-one sessions and in bigger ceremonies. With the pandemic, at the start of the pandemic, I had a good phone that took in the sound very well, so I could use it in ceremonies and healing on a distance. But when I changed my phone a year ago, that wasn't possible anymore. So for the past year, I mostly used it for myself and for a few clients. But I'm looking forward to using it more and more the more we get out into real life again, which I hope doing very much more this year than the past 3 years. So the second tool in my toolbox is my rattles. So I forgot, I have 3 drums and I will show them in the next video, the part 1 of the toolbox. So the second tool is my rattles, and I have one here. And this is the only one I made myself. It has like a little, like this, because it usually hangs on a big stick, like a walking stick. That's where it's supposed to live, on the walking stick. And then I have a bunch of other rattles that I will show you in the second episode of the third episode, I guess. So this is the first episode, and then the second episode will be the drums, and then the third episode will be my rattles. And my rattles I also use for healing and journeys. A little bit like different levels, I would say. So I will talk more about that when I show you these tools. And my rattles have different energies. They have a different skin. They have some of them are painted and some of them are not. Some of them have like fur on them, and some have crystals inside of them. So they have different energies and they have different souls and purposes. And that's how I work with them anyway. So I'm going to talk a bit more about that in the third episode. And then the next tool in my toolbox is incense, or smoke, like smudges and stuff. So both like incense sticks, which I don't use that much because of several, that's a hard word, several reasons. And I will talk more about that in the fourth episode of my shamanic toolbox. Right? Yeah. So so during the fourth episode, I will talk about incense and smudging and smudge sticks and whatnot. So like sage and Palo Santo and juniper and tuya and cedar and all of the ones that I actually use or have used. Some of them I will talk about why I don't no longer use them, and yeah, I will give you some more information about how I use them and what I think about them. So the next is related to incense, which is herbs and plant medicine, but I chose to divide the two into two categories, like incense and herbs and plant medicine will be in one. And I will talk about not just about which plants I use, but um, how I choose which one to use, and a little bit how I get to know the plants before using them. So in the fifth episode, I will talk about herbs and plant medicine. And connected to that is also stones and crystals. And I have a lot of them. So I will not be showing you all of them. I don't think I can even locate all of them. Because that was like I don't know, like for a few years I was just really into to them and their energies, and this year I'm actually set on getting to know hopefully each of my stones, which won't be possible. I think I have more than 365, and I don't have that much time to just get to know all, but some of them I already know and already work with deeply. So I will mostly show you those, and maybe I will talk a little bit about how I get to know the stones before using them. So that will happen in the sixth episode of the Shamanic Toolbox. And the next tool in my toolbox are my runes, of course. So I will be talking a bit about how I use the runes in my practice. I use them for divination and healing, and they're just a part of my life. But I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth into it, but at the same time try to keep it a bit light so that you don't get overwhelmed with information. And then I have in the past, and I will in the future talk more about the runes as a shamanic tool and as a shamanic healing method. So I will be doing that in the future as well. But I will talk briefly on the runes about the runes in episode 7 of the Shamanic Toolbox. And the next, what have I written down? Yeah, so the next tool in my toolbox is rites and initiations. So now we have like via the runes we've stepped from the physical tools, or maybe even with the herbs and the plant medicine, we stepped from the physical tools a bit into the methods and techniques. And we dive a bit more into this with the eighth episode, where I'm going to talk about rites and initiations. I'm going to talk about which ones I have received, which ones I give to others, and a little bit about what they do, how they work for me, what I do, and how I use them. Like because I have received some rights within the Kira medicine, but there are also type of rights and initiations within the Nordic tradition. So there's both the aspect of giving them forward and giving them to others and teaching others that way, and helping people on their way. And then also the aspect of what do they do for me? What are the purposes of receiving these rights? And I have talked about this, and I will talk more about it in other videos, and talk more about each set of rights, like the Munaki and the Nustokarpai, and maybe the Nordic initiations as well. I haven't done that yet. I might do in the future. Because I sense that some people want to know more about that. So as what it looks like now, the ninth and last episode of the Shamanic Toolbox, I will talk about healing. And this is where I will like bind together weave together all of the tools and all of the methods that I use. And I will talk about some more as well, because that's why I say the way it looks now is that this will be the last episode, but it might not, because this episode might be like in several parts, because I want to talk about chakra healing, want to talk about past life regression, I want to talk about jaguar healing, I want to talk about healing with the norns, and so there's a lot of, if you like, in Swedish we say bone it out, like if you separate it all, like this is healing for me, like this is my healing toolbox, this is like everything I know, and I use it intuitively. Intuitively, I don't know. I'm not gonna get stuck on that. So what I can do for you guys is I can, pick them apart. So like, this is one type of healing, this is one, this is one, this is one, this is one, and then let you know the types of healing, or like the intentions or whatever, how, because it can be separated, because I learned them one at a time, and then I have incorporated them into like my healing. So I will talk a bit about the different types of healing when I talk about my drumming and my rattling, and also with the incense of course, and with the stones and the herbs. But like the energy manipulation part of healing, like, and channeling and that sort of thing, I'm going to talk about in the 9th episode of the Shamanic Toolbox. So we'll see if that might be, several episodes, like parts of that episode, because there's so much to talk about, and you know me, I like talking. So if you have any questions about this, or if you have any like wishes or demands or requests, that's the word, requests, when you hear about this, let me know in the comments, and I might do like other tiny videos on specific questions as well, because it's just so much. It's like trying to map out cosmos on the universe on a flat surface and describe it. That's what it feels like doing this series. So we'll see how often this series will, these episodes will pop up, because it will probably be like every other week, the Shamanic Toolbox, and then every other week I will share a rune meditation, because I want to get back to those. So yeah, I will see you in the next video, where I will be talking about drums, and we'll see if there will be another rune meditation before that or not. So I would love to know if you have other tools, because maybe I have more tools, I just haven't considered them inside of that umbrella, that umbrella term. So please share with me if you have other tools that you use in your practice, which even, no matter if you practice witchcraft or shamanic, if you're a shamanic practitioner or whatever you consider yourself. But please share in the comments what you consider to be your toolbox, and yeah, we can have a conversation, and I might do some other videos when you inspire me, because you do. Your questions inspire me a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Walk in beauty, walk together. And as I always end my videos, Xingling.